Welcome to Attican Plays Workers and Resources, Soviet Republic. All right, hi, this is Attican and welcome to Series 4, Episode 29 of Workers and Resources, Soviet Republic. Now, in our last episode, we discovered this the mysterious ghost town that was right here. This is a little community we'd set up to drive up the number of workers in our refinery. And somehow, some way, everybody left. And if we look at the stats, if we look at escapes, let's look for the year. See that peak? You get a huge peak right in, I don't know when that is, whenever that is, right in, okay, escaped, right in there, I'm assuming around August. We got a bunch of escapes, and honestly, I don't know exactly what happened. But the only thing I can think, we've looked at, could it have been brownouts? It doesn't appear to be. We have on video night shots of this where everything's fine as far as the power is concerned. They all have power. Everything was fine. There was a theory about, well, these flats that I deleted to clean this up couldn't walk downtown. Yes, they could. They could walk to everything except the actual train stop down here. So they could get to what they needed. We probably were short kindergarten, but that's not going to make you, I don't think that makes people leave. That just means they have to stay home and take care of their babies. So, the only thing I would say is the only thing that we did differently here from any place else was, if you'll recall, I had the orders set so that the closest ones up this way would all work here, and then the few back in the back were left to take care of everything else. And somehow, some way, I think we lost people in these back ones and started having diminishing amounts of service. So if we stopped having people, at our playgrounds and cinema, especially here at the shopping center, some extent the hospital, but definitely here, if you stop having people here working, nobody can get their food. Now, if you want mass defections, quit feeding people. That's just a fact. So only thing I can think of is maybe it was a brownout or something else, but we lost some people back in here, causing a gradual shutdown of our services. And as our services got less and less, we started losing more and more people, and we were just in that downward spiral till they were all gone. And I don't think it took very long. I mean, if you look at the escapes for this year, see, that's I don't know what that's supposed to be timeline wise, but from here, if these are the same timelines, let's see, it'd be 14 July. So in about a month, we lost, it looks like in 1 month, we lost everybody here. So we must have at some point just quit feeding people and they left. And do I know what really happened? No, I don't. And the other thing too, I mean, we've talked about, these bus stops are student only, and their sole purpose is to take people who have level 1 and are under work age to down here to the university to go to level 2 education. So everything seems to be set up well. And in fact, just to show you that, we deleted 3 flats down here that couldn't walk to this and just kind of cleaned this up a little bit, added kindergarten. And now if we look at the problems these people have, there is a sport and a culture. I'm not sure what's causing that. And remember, I did goof up here and brought in third world immigrants. So we've got some uneducated people. But I've followed some of them, and even the adults who are uneducated, if you watch them, like this person here, low education level for working. I think Krasimir, now I've been told you're supposed to look at the middle name. That's their kind of given name. That's their father's name, and this is their surname. I think that's how that works. Now, I'll have to look up who told me that, but I appreciate it. Thank you. And I have, this person said they enjoyed listening to me trying to say these names. I've kind of quit, if you notice. I just kind of go with him. So I'm thinking this is a him, but I don't know that. But Krasimir here, is low education, and he's old enough to work. But I actually think if we follow him for a moment, watch what he does when he goes to his work time. He's off his free time. He's on an 8-hour shift, but see, he goes to school. And that's just what he should do. So we are educating these people. And I think it was Questlove said he didn't think I had enough educated people here in the fix. I believe we do, because we have enough educated people to staff our hospital adequately. And we've got plenty of teachers in our 2 schools, so we don't have any overrun. And in spite of the fact that I've got all these uneducated adults in this flat, our schools are handling them just fine. In fact, we have 3 schools going, and we've got plenty of teachers. So I think we're good there, because everybody else can get their level 1 education, and they can hop on the bus and get down here and get a level 2 education. So we should be good. I mean, this should be strong and solid now. But, famous last words, I thought it was before, too. And you'll notice, look at that, 450 workers. We are doing just fine. And even now that we're back up to great worker count, look at our oil. We are really producing the oil and doing great there. All right, so we've got a fire. Where's that? Artis Gilmore Flats. I don't think that's going to be a problem. We'll just let that go. All right, so I don't know what else to say. Let's just drop this and move on. We'll come back and keep an eye on it, of course. But when you see problems like church, if church is the only problem you have, that one sport, I'm not sure what the deal is, because we've got staffed playgrounds everywhere. Look at that, all around. So that should take care of itself, but we'll see. Now let's go, speaking of Artis Gilmore, let's go to Artis Gilmore if I can find him. Am I in the right area? Here we go. Here's Artis. And left it, I was going to leave it up to you guys to tell me what to do here. I think we all got distracted by the disaster up there at the refinery place. But, I've got this experiment going where we're keeping the production down below 30%. And look at this, we cannot store food, so they've shut down production. Now, in a way, that's okay, because the only thing this is for really is to provide food for Artis Gilmore. But at the same time, that's totally wasteful. And we've got the same thing with alcohol, so we're going to fix that. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to put a warehouse and attach it down here to the food. So we'll attach a warehouse to the food, and then we're going to attach a road cargo depot to that warehouse and start shuttling alcohol down here to the warehouse. Then we'll set up our lines to run. Well, the alcohol can still run from here. The food actually can still run from here. It's just a couple of trucks. But then after we get both those things set up, maybe if I just did it, it'd be easier. All right, let's just, let's see. Where do I want to put this? I want to have, this is fine, if we can get it level. So we just find level and yellow, and we find yellow and then level it to green. And then just scoot it to closer to where we exactly want, level it again. Just keep doing that process until we get it the way we want it. I do want to make sure I can get that road connection out of there, so let's just leave it right there. Then make sure that the factory connection will work. All right, so we can unload food into that warehouse. And then if we set up a road cargo station out here, like so, find yellow, level it out. Okay, and another factory connection. And look at our roads and make sure we can get a road around here. Let's level this up a little bit. Again, I'm using the idea of taking the level from the center. If you just put the center over at your building, then it's going to pull up the ground out near it, which in effect creates a larger level spot for you. That probably is good enough right there. So if we can go around, manage to miss the building. I do wish I would love for those help messages to go away faster. They block your view for way too long. There. Okay, now we need to have a road that comes down through here. So we just seek yellow and just flatten out. Look how easy that was. Okay. Now, one thing I'm not 100% on is, would a fire truck go through this to go down there? Anybody, if you know the answer to that, let me know. But I'm not going to take any chances, and we'll build a little bypass here, as silly as it may look, just to be certain, just to make sure a fire truck will go over there. And let me know if we can, we'll just rip that out of there. All right, so we will set up a line to run alcohol down here and load into the warehouse. And then eventually we will set up a little crop circle down here. Oh, I know what I want to do. Well, what we will do is we will set up a train cargo station, hook it into the warehouse. Let me just make sure that's going to work. It should, although we've got a lot of slope here. We can, we can deal with slope. That's not a big deal. All right. So eventually we'll probably put a cargo station here. I don't want to use the warehouse because it only has the one track, and you can see more things going on here. I'm trying to get away from using those warehouses as my shipping points and using the cargo stations instead. Like this. This is a better configuration than shipping into the warehouse. All right, so that should. Well, let's just build this. Jeez, let's put in some better roads. And build this and this. Okay, and we want to limit the amount. We're going to say take in, we're going to have it take in clothes as well. We don't need, we'll do no crops, no chemicals, no fabric. Okay, and then we're going to do more food. That should work, something like that. Okay, so food, alcohol, and clothes. And now we can set up our connections. Oh, I'm on auto build. No wonder it ran. Okay, so now we've got a warehouse. And there we go. We're already putting food in it. So this can keep producing. All right, and we'll need a truck to pick up alcohol. Well, I got a truck right here that's not doing anything. So you can start here, go here. Fill up on alcohol, unload all your alcohol. And it's not strictly necessary to unclick all these boxes, but I just find it easier to read if you come back later and look at that vehicle. It's easier to read it when you've got it explicitly saying exactly what it's doing, unloading alcohol. And let's see. That will allow us to start storing those two in there. And then our clothing. Oh, you know what? We've already got clothing coming in over here, so that's not a problem. So we've got shipments of clothing coming into this warehouse, and there's no reason to change that. It goes directly to their shopping center, so that's perfect. And the purpose of this one is just because eventually, even running them at a slower efficiency, you're going to create overage and continue to accumulate more and more to the point where you're going to want to ship them off somewhere. If nothing else, just export them so that you can keep producing. All right, so that's the Artis Gilmore fix. Now I want to go look at one of the things I intended to cover last episode and never got to. Go out here to our new oil field. You can see that right there. And you can see all this that I have set up off camera. And we're going to walk through this design and build this out and get this going. And I mentioned I was going to do an experiment. This is kind of the experiment. I actually went off and took a separate path, a different save file, and ran the experiment and decided it was a failure. What I was doing was I wanted to set up a bunch of flats and surround them with farms and let the people do the farming, and then have a agro farm that had nothing but trucks in it to pick up the crops. And then the thought was we could actually do multiple of those, have another one and another one, and one agro farm with 12 trucks could serve a whole bunch of farms. And the people doing the planting and the harvesting are actually, if you have enough people, way, way faster than using the tractors and harvesters. What I didn't like, so I liked that part of it, but what I didn't like was now I got all these people, and as those crops are growing, these people are just doing nothing but eating our food. So I didn't care for it from that point of view. I may go play with it again sometime later, but anyway, I shelved that idea, and this is infrastructure I'd set up before I went off and did it on a different path. And I just decided to keep this in case it comes back later because, the train track isn't going to hurt us to have it. And so what else do we need to know? All right, so let's talk about this one. What we've got here, we've got oil that, we're producing oil like crazy. I mean, look at this. Oops. We've got, is this train full now? See, the train just picked up 712 tons of oil, and we have 500 tons of oil in this tank. And these should be filling up. Yeah, they're getting more as we speak. So what's happening here, and I don't recall when I did this versus what I've shown you, but I used to have this tank just go overflow to this one, and I wanted to see what would happen if I literally put a pump on this to see if it would do a better job, because what I was noticing is this one would get 400 or 500 in it, it seemed like, before anything would happen. And then it would kind of sit, and I was wondering, are we not pumping back here? And what I also noticed was this pump never seemed to run. I mean, if you look at these, this guy is pumping, he's producing like 4 tons of oil a day, that kind of rate. This one is pumping. He's producing over 5, but this guy never seems to run. It seems like no matter how long I watch it, you never see the little spurt of stuff going through it. So I don't know if this guy is pulling that or what's going on, but see, he never runs either. But somehow magically, this thing here, well, now it's just sitting because it's probably overflowing to these. So, I don't know what's working and what isn't, except that we're making a whole bunch of oil. But if we look at these pumps, they never seem to pump anything. So I'm a little confused. I don't know if this is working exactly correctly or if I'm just misreading what's going on. But I do know we're being extremely effective in producing oil. I just don't know. I don't understand how it's happening. Anyway, if any of you got any insight into that, feel free to share. So let's talk about this build up here. So having scratched my experiment, I decided to go a different route. Well, so we said we wanted to build some more chemical plants. And I thought about it and thought, well, you know what? I've got this oil rig right here that, well, right now it's producing nothing because you can see I've disconnected it from the system because we're going to change it. But it has been producing 4.5 to 5 tons of oil every day. Well, guess what? We're going to put down here, we're going to put 4 chemical plants. See if I can get them right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 chemical plants, and we're just going to pump oil directly from an oil rig into a tank. It's going to be connected to 2 pumps. One of the pumps is going to go to two of the chemical plants. The other pump goes to the other 2, and that's going to supply all the oil that these chemical plants could ever possibly need. Then on top of that, we're going to supply them with everything else. We're going to give them wood and gravel. So we've got right here a wood cutting post connected to storage, connected to road cargo station. We will have logging trucks that go out, gather up wood. You can see I've done my little brush deal to get that started, but there's plenty of wood to start with. So we're going to have trucks, one truck assigned to each chemical plant, hauling wood into the chemical plant. So that gives them oil and wood. They also need gravel. So we're going to have a stone quarry up here on the mountain. We're going to have a gravel processing plant down here going into storage. And then that storage is going to, through a series of transfer engines and conveyors, it's going to pump gravel into each of the chemical plants. So it comes off this way to this one and goes directly to that. Then it goes to this transfer to go to that. And then it comes off this other side, comes up here to this transfer, which goes to a transfer here, which routes it back to that chemical plant, routes it forward to one here, which takes it over to this one, which, no, wait, I'm confused. Yeah. Sorry. How's that work? This one's already covered. Oh, yeah. We're trying to get it. It comes to here, and then it goes back to that one, and then it also goes over here and around to get into that one. And the reason this is such a circuitous route is to the combination of running the oil pipes and running this. They all have to be able to cross each other. So this was a fairly intricate job getting all this to fit together into one nice tight space. And I wanted it in one nice tight space because now there's a bus stop right here in the middle. And from that bus stop, you can walk to all 4 chemical plants, the wood cutting post, and the gravel processing plant. So all 6 of the buildings that need laborers can get them from this bus stop. So all we have to do is have a bus stop from town come in and stop right there, and we've supplied labor for everything we need. So let's work our way backwards. The bus is going to ride up here. Here's the bus stop. There's a bus stop that is in walking distance of 6 flats, which are right along here. And these flats are all within walking distance of a medical school. Fire station. Now these 2 are, all of them can walk to grocery store. I thought we'd do it like a little country town. Grocery store, small store, hooked up to a warehouse, hooked up to a cargo station, hooked up to a meat storage so that we can get our food, clothing, and meat shipped in. Then these flats can walk to, as I said, the grocery store, small store, hospital, cinema, and pub. They can all walk to the pub. And then on the back end over here, this is kind of Main Street, and on the back street we've got 1, 2, 3 kindergartens and 1, 2, 3 football fields that they can all walk to. There's a school at this end that most of the flats can walk to, actually all of them. And there's a second school on this end that actually all of them can walk to. So they can all walk to school on either end. And they can all walk down here to the bus stop to go to work down in the chemical plants and down in that area. So this should be very efficient, and it should be very much like the chemical plant one we set up way over here in near our border, near Borislav. So we'll build that thing out. I built all the track already. I've got this. I've got a warehouse here to ship out the chemicals or to set them up for shipment. Well, we will ship them from there by train to take them into our system, and we will have trucks that load. Will be trucks that one to each chemical plant that picks up the chemicals and takes them to this warehouse where a train will be waiting to take them off to for other use and for export. So that's the plan for that. I can tell you that this was quite the little job to get all this to fit together, to have 4 of these in one grouping. If you have a favorite design you've done, I'd love to see it. I've seen one elegant one by Fortune that has 3 chemical plants. I was actually shooting for 5 here, and we could do 5, but it was getting really hard, and 4 was hard enough. So I cut it off at 4 more chemical plants down here with a direct feed for the oil, easy access to wood, easy access to gravel. So it should get everything it needs. And what's the other thing it needs? Does it need crops? If it needs crops, then we're just going to have to import them. Yeah, it needs some crops. We'll import the crops. I wasn't. Oh well, we could even deal with that a little bit, but I don't want to. We'll import the crops. All right, so that's the plan for this new city, this new whatever we call this. That's going to drive our 4 more chemical plants, and I think I'm going to go off and build this. Let me go off, kind of speed up and build this out, and then we'll come back and set up the trains and have it running, and that'll be the end of this episode. Oh, and before I go, I am going to set up the roads. And we'll set up auto build here. I'm going to set up the roads so that we have asphalt roads for the bus line. So asphalt will run down for the bus line to go into that bus stop down here in the heart of things. Make sure I got the right spot. And the combination of trying to get the roads and the piping and the conveyors and the orientation of the buildings was quite the fun little challenge. So you can certainly, once this is built, there's 2 easy ways to see it in my mind. Like this as a plan, you can kind of see the piping and the conveyors and stuff, and then later, of course, as it's actually built out. It's the 2 best ways to look at it, I think. So, okay. All right. Now I'll shut up and get to work. All right, so you see, so we got the city built out. I think I got everything up here. It's got all powered up and looking good. We've got power run down here, and I built the gravel part and the wood part, and we gotta get that started. And what I want to do is take this. I had this excavator left over from before, and I want to move it to this depot because I want it to now start. That's going to be our gravel quarry processor. Will be that excavator. So we won't need people up there. We will need a truck to run its output down here, and that's the one thing I am missing is a road depot. So let's get one of those. Road vehicles depot. We can put it anywhere basically. What would be a good spot? All this wiring gets in the way. Let's see. I think we'll just put it down here in the oil field where we got some flat land. All right, so let's get our logging going first. So let's get 3 loggers. Put them in here. We've got oil going. Let's see, a truck to haul off stone. Would it be a dumper? Is that what would haul quarried stone? Yes, it would be. We'll get one of these dudes and tell it to go up here once and go down here once. Fill up with stone. And unload down there. Start. And then we need to get our buses going. We need to get I think we'll start with 4 buses running our line from here to here. And we need this set to be workers only. Where's that bus that goes up? There's one bus that goes really fast. I think 80, 85. Don't want a microbus. Let's try this guy right here. He's going to run from here to here. Go there. We have our bus line. And we are already gathering up oil. I think we ought to just go ahead and do the rest of it. All right, we're going to build our pumps and our transfer engines. And our chemical plants. And I guess all this would work better if we actually had people. Missed the pub. And I want to cut this back. We do not need a full staff in our university. At least not yet. Probably never. And this one, there's no reason, we'll let them go where they want to because they'll just automatically spread out the way we want to see them as soon as we start getting some people down here. There we go. Let's see, they just kind of automatically go running off to all the different jobs. There we go. Aha, not going to work without you. And I don't know how to tell the oh, we need more trucks. He loads. Okay, so that's how that works. He loads a truck as it gets up there. So let's get some more trucks going. So we need to import crops. And we need, are we getting any wood? We are, a lot of wood, good. So now we're going to get 4 logging trucks. And we're going to tell them to go here. The first one's going to go here and then here. Start. And this one can go here and here. And start. This one can go here and here. And our last one can go to this guy. Okay, one couldn't, okay, that pub was probably because I forgot to build it. One was here with culture, I don't understand that. That should be rectified. The rest of them are religion, that's perfect. That's what we're after. Don't need that, but it looks ugly. Okay. Oh, we need ambulances. And we do not need that many doctors. Okay. And we definitely need fire trucks. All right, and we can get our trucks now to haul the chemicals over to the warehouse for shipment. And that's just about perfect. We have one logging truck and one truck taking stuff away. We've got the gravel and the oil coming in by pipe and conveyor. We would not want any more trucks than that sitting in the chemical plant loading up stuff. And we may even cut back on the logging and the gravel because we just don't need as much of it. See, we're full of wood, full of... Oh, we're in great shape, great shape, great shape. But again, chemicals are very slow. They produce very, very slowly, so it's going to take a while before we have any kind of reasonable shipment of them. When we do, we'll get a train fired up and get it down here and get it started doing its thing. It looks like people, the problems are exactly the problems we want. Got this one culture person. We got people in school already. Good, we've got a manned fire station, and it has plenty of range to cover our oil fields and our chemical plants and our city. So beautiful. All right, what else? Let's go do a quick check back on our little mystery area just to make sure that it's still there. Very, very happy people. We found that doesn't mean anything, but they're very, very happy. One for kindergarten. How in the world? Okay, I think one thing that happens on the sports is because sports, I think they're going down here first, and that means that they're going to go to the nearest sports, which is here. They don't really do a good job of spreading out. Yeah, there's plenty there, though. Yeah, plenty there. I take that back. These two aren't very popular, but this one, and this one. But this frosts me where you have 10 people waiting and you've got space over here. All 10 of them could go play at the other place. Do we have a connection right here? Aha. We may have a problem because of this slope. Let me see if I can fix that. Okay, now they can walk over there if they needed to. Even though it still looks broken. Doesn't look any different than it did before, but technically, I guess it's connected now. One pub or tavern, which let me see here. All right, we still got this one flat here that can't walk to the pub, but it doesn't have a pub problem. It's the one next to it that does. All right, we'll revisit that and make sure we're okay. Let's just look at our money. February early, we're doing well. Last month we should have spent a fortune. Yes, we spent a huge fortune. Shows you why you should do construction management. Let's go back to December. There's a month where we didn't do any building or anything. We made a surplus of over 1 million rubles and over $500,000. So we're looking okay on the economy. And let's go do a quick look at Artis Gilmore, the changes we made there, and then we'll call it a day. Or call it an episode anyway. Look at this. We've almost filled it up with alcohol. We're getting plenty of food. And let's double check our pollution. That's the test over here. Pollution is 0, 0. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We may, and let's see, do we have any one without a job? Couldn't get meat. What do you mean couldn't get meat? Whoa. Oh no, oh no. I have a feeling there's a problem with the meat industry. I think I know what it is. Yes, yes, I knew it, I knew it, I knew it. I have said this before, but I'm not practicing it. Shame on me. See these two buses? There's no workers in here, and these two trucks. We had this problem over at the food. One of these days I'll learn. You don't have to be full. You don't have. I mean, you don't have to totally unload. Now get out of the way. Let us get some worker there. Our meat industry has shut down because it didn't have any workers. And these buses aren't going to be workers because they will have timed out. So they'll have to go back here and reload, bring some workers over here to our slaughterhouse. But what I'm going to do is fix that as soon as those buses are clear, go. All right. We're going to put in, we're going to put in a bus stop right here. Now we want to take all these buses that are associated with this . Oh, wait. Let's make sure, before I do that, let's just make sure this is going to work. Yeah. Pick up workers, go to that bus stop. And this bus stop won't matter, but we'll set it for nobody. Okay. Got 7 workers that should be headed over here. There they go. And there they are. Okay, good. All right. Now we got plenty of workers. Now our meat business is back going. All right. Goodness, man, that's just a fatal mistake. You just got to be careful when you're. It's just a mistake to run. You can do it. There are times when it's fine, but running your buses directly to a factory, you've got to really give it some thought if you're going to do it. All right, so we wanted to check on Artis Gilmore. Artis, where for art thou, Artis? I lost Artis again. Here's Artis. Yeah, we've got to start shipping some stuff. All right, I'll set up a train for Artis. I'll put in this and set up a train for Artis, and we'll come back next time and see what other trouble we want to get into. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it'll help you become a better player, and I hope you'll join us for our next Workers and Resources Soviet Republic video. Thank you.